So last year of July, I made the mistake of leaving the safety of my home and going on a 4-day camping trip with my high school buddies to an island called Corregidor. It's a small historic island located in the Philippines, and as the title suggests, a lot of things go wrong in this trip, which ultimately leads us to almost, dying. But before all that jazz, let me introduce you to the gang. This is Spencer, the Corregidor expert. He knows more about this island than his own childhood. This is Hans, an intellectual jungle man who seems better suited to live in the wild than the city. This is Max. He's one of those rare guys in high school who's both considerably geeky and surprisingly athletic at the same time. But he's gained a few pounds since then. And last but not least, this is Daniel. He's my twin brother. Yeah. That's it. Where's my cool intro? So let's skip to day 2 of the trip cause nothing really happened in day 1, and to our surprise, it hasn't rained yet. Like, at all. Before we left for the trip, the weather forecast said there was going to be a really bad typhoon. So we were expecting a lot of rain. But there wasn't any. Which is great, hey, I'm not complaining. So Spencer suggested, hey, the weather seems pretty nice and all, wanna pack some sandwiches for lunch and eat it on this tiny island I know while exploring some sick tunnels and ruins on the way? Yeah, sure,
sounds
cool,
fun.
like,
I'd
we
be
should
down
totally
for
do
that.
that,
That'd be
let's
cool.
go.
Ooh, adventure!
So we left the campsite at around 9 in the morning, but apparently failed to stick to our original plan, which was to eat our lunch on this tiny island, only because we spent a little too much time on the exploring part. So we ate our lunch somewhere along the hike, but still decided to go to the island since Spencer needed to retrieve some Roblox content from there and add it to his fancy Corregidor collection. And we were all just in the mood for adventure anyway. Now, once we arrived at our destination, we could see the island from afar. It wasn't exactly one of those typical islands with a coconut tree and a sandy shore. More like a big piece of rock floating in the ocean, really. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a lot farther than how I imagined it. I mean, if I were to put it into perspective, I believe it could have been about 90 feet away, and a normal swimming pool is around 30 feet long, which means that this was equivalent to swimming an entire 3 full laps back and forth a normal high school pool. But it's fine, we've taken swimming lessons from one of the most brutal PE teachers in history, so this was probably gonna be a total piece of cake. We barely made it to the island. Well, what do you know? Turns out that swimming in a pool is not quite the same as swimming in the ocean with all the waves and everything. Yeah, no kidding. And the sudden change of weather didn't really help that much either. Hans got to the island first since he was like a freaking dolphin or something.
Dude.
But that didn't really matter because once we arrived, he was still in the water. Why? Well, apparently because of how the island was shaped, we couldn't place our foot anywhere, which meant that we had to use pure arm strength to get up while fighting the waves. Not to mention, the entire island was covered in sharp, prickly barnacles. At this point, we were actually getting pretty desperate and contemplated whether we should take our chances and use our remaining energy to swim back to shore. But we didn't, and thankfully, after 15 more minutes of struggling, somehow Daniel managed to come clutch and climb through the pain, and he helped all of us up. I asked Dan about this a few days ago, and apparently he doesn't even know how he got up in the first place, but thank God he did, cause if he didn't, we would have had to swim back to shore without any rest, and personally, I don't think any of us would have made it in our current state. Holy crap, I thought we were goners! Whew! What an adventure, am I right, guys? Once we were able to catch our breath, we realized our hands were bleeding pretty badly from the cuts we got while trying to climb up. And even though we kind of laughed it off and joked about it then, deep inside, we all knew how serious the situation had become. Like, you wouldn't believe how much blood was coming out of our hands. It was literally flowing. But we eventually stopped the bleeding, took some time to rest, and got ready to use whatever stamina we had left to swim back to shore. Now, you would think swimming back would be a lot easier since all we had to do was just end up on shore, right? No. If anything, it was just as bad. When I got to shore, my legs were no longer functioning, and because I couldn't stand up right away, I was thrashed around by the waves for 10 whole minutes like I was some kind of washed up seaweed. And this would have been fine if the bottom of the shore was just covered in sand. But it wasn't! There were heaps of rocks everywhere, and for the entire duration of those 10 minutes, I was trying to keep myself from getting my face bashed onto one of these things. Surprisingly enough, I got out without a single scratch, but my brother on the other hand, wasn't very lucky. Shortly after, we were back to where we left our belongings and took some time to share some sweet snacks of camaraderie to celebrate our survival. Now all we had to do was follow the shoreline for about an hour and a half and boom, we're back at our sweet old campsite. Guys, I think we need to go back. What? What do you mean we need to go back? It's not safe. But the campsite's just around the corner. We could try to swim. TJ, we need to go back. Okay. TJ, no! So what happened was, we forgot to take into account that water levels rose as the day reached closer to the evening, and it was already around 5 p.m. The path we were supposed to take to get to our campsite was completely gone, or flooded to be precise, and there really was no other way around. We did think about swimming, but the waves would have destroyed us onto the rocks if we tried, so we didn't risk it. This was honestly one of those times where if I could sign a contract with the devil for a pair of wings in exchange for my soul, I'd do it. What? It's just an analogy. It was already starting to get kinda dark, and everyone knows how dangerous it is to walk around the jungle during the evening, so it didn't take too long for us to make a quick decision. But man, it sucked. We walked all this way for nothing, and now we had to take the long way around the island, which is the path we took to get down here in the first place. And not just that, there was this long stream that we previously hiked down in order to get to this shore, and staggering up this thing in our current state was not a fun time at all. Our legs were so tired on our way up this stream that we had to stop every few minutes to keep it from cramping, and we weren't even allowed to rest any more than 10 seconds in fear of wasting too much daylight. The journey back to camp was painfully exhausting, but we eventually made it in one piece, and all we could think about was taking a nice cool shower and sticking our beat up bodies in our sleeping bags and going right to sleep. To conclude this story, I don't really know what else to say except that this was probably one of my worst near-death experiences ever, but despite all the struggle and hardships, I still got to experience it with my close friends, and that, I think, made it all worth it in the end. Aww. Oh, and I'm never going camping with you guys again. Oh wow, hey, TG's back. Yay. I missed you guys so much. Okay, so I know I've been gone for a while. I know. I can't really explain everything in detail, but a lot's been going on, I swear. I went to Korea again, got my tooth removed, and got a tooth implant. Yikes. Been dealing with Tax's family and loads of other stuff. And that's just half of it, okay? Oh, and also big thanks to my buddy Ray for helping me out with coloring. Like, she's literally the best. I wouldn't be able to get this video out today if it wasn't for her. And also my friend Spencer for sending me a lot of the details for the island in the story. Yeah, it helped a lot. And yeah, we almost died in this island trip. Big deal. But we also had a lot of fun towards the end. So thanks guys for inviting me. Also, keep an eye out for the 100k video special. It'll be out maybe sometime next week. I don't know. Honestly, I still can't believe we reached this many subs in such a short amount of time. Like, wow, my Toon family, you are
the best. Thank you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to stay tuned for more. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I love you. Bye.